SoWhat Now What is a fantastic retrospective tool. So if you're wanting to think about how well a summit or a conference went, or a speech or a meeting or a project, or even the morning of your workshop, just to reflect as a team, as a group, on how well things went and come together around a shared understanding around what happened and what that might mean for us. And so it's quite simple. It's broken into 3 steps. The first steps, we're going to think about what happened, what did we observe. Let's just take stock inventory of all the things that happened before we start doing any sense making or synthesis on it. After we've accumulated that data, if you will, about what happened, it's the facts, then we're going to move on to SoWhat. And SoWhat is our synthesis. And this is where we're going to start making sense of what happened and what does that mean to us? What are the consequences of these things that happened? And then finally, we'll move into the third step, which is now what? And now what is our next steps, our actions, what we're going to do about these things that we've noticed, that we've come together to agree on as consequential about what happened. It's really interesting if you think about SoWhat Now What as what liberating structures calls as a macro structure, then you can layer microstructures into it. So if you wanted to use a 1, 2, 4 all in each of your steps, you could do that. If you wanted to do a note and vote or some other tool in each of the steps, you could do that too. In fact, you could use one tool for your what and then a different tool for your SoWhat. So you can really mix and match things, but it's really about taking that really methodical and structured approach to understanding what happened and what we're gonna do about it. I think most teams and most groups just go straight into action items. Okay, so what are we gonna do next? Just taking a step back and looking at what happened. So let's think about what happened. So we're considering the entire chessboard and then doing some sense making before we jump into those action items. Really, really powerful tool.
It's a perfect example of how to really bring things to a close, because anytime you're closing a session, closing a meeting, you should be giving people an opportunity to reflect on what they've experienced, really turn inward and think about what that full arc has been for them. And then based on that, decide what they are going to do next to launch out beyond that meeting, beyond that session, beyond that workshop to ultimately have the best impact.